Accelerator camps to make your startup accelerate faster. I'm Tonya Hall for ZDNet and Tech Republic, and joining me is Peter Rojas. He is a partner at Betaworks Ventures. Welcome, Peter.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So what is Betaworks?
So Betaworks is originally started off about 10 years ago as a studio which created new internet businesses. And Giphy, I think probably the most famous or well-known company which has come out of Betaworks, was actually built at Betaworks. And then also historically invested in startups. And so invested in a bunch of companies like Tumblr, Kickstarter, Medium, Venmo, Everlane, among others. And then I joined about 3 years ago to help them create a new company called Betaworks Ventures, which would take the investment activity from Betaworks and spin it out into its own proper venture fund. So we have a $50 million pre-seed and seed stage venture capital fund with three partners. I'm here on the West Coast, and my two partners are based in New York, and we are investing in the future of how people interact with and through computers. And so that's everything from augmented reality to voice computing to podcasting and kind of everything that's interesting and futuristic about how we're going to connect and interact online.
You just launched Live Camp. What is that about?
Yeah, so one of the things that we do, the fund does sort of in conjunction with the studio now, is we run these themed pre-seed investment programs, a little bit like an accelerator. We have companies come and work out of the Betaworks studio office in New York City for about 3 months. And what we do is we pick an area that we're really excited about at Betaworks Ventures, at the fund, that we're investing in and that we want to understand better and work really closely with companies building in the space. And so Live Camp will be our fourth program. We've done in the past voice computing, we've done augmented reality, we've done chatbots and conversational software. And so for this current one, what we're really interested in right now is this concept of live and how live interactive experiences are really starting to come into their own. And you're starting to see this kind of blurring of the boundaries between television and gaming, where each is sort of becoming a little more like the other. You're starting to see huge audiences following esports and game streaming. You're starting to see TV shows like HQ Trivia that are built for your phone and are really sort of bringing people together at the same for these shared experiences in ways that were hard to do before. And so we have a group of companies that just started off working in New York, kind of all different aspects of the sort of live interactive experiences, some related to software for publishers or streamers who are creating these live experiences. Some are rethinking what it means to have a interactive television show. And some are thinking about how do you create kind of better live experiences for gamers themselves. So it's a whole bunch of really cool stuff. We have one that's focusing on live online group meditation, for example. And so we're pretty excited. And one of the things we love about doing these programs is we sort of accelerate our own learning and understanding about a new space. And so it's kind of a way for us to get our hands dirty and put our money where our mouths are, and get really engaged in a new area.
You mentioned Bot Camp, Voice Camp, and Vision Camp. What are some of the success stories? What are some of the companies you've actually helped accelerate?
Yeah, so we've had very obviously there are companies that go through the program and they don't work, just like any accelerator, but really any venture fund. But from the first one, Bot Camp, we've had a couple of companies that have done really well. One called StatsBot, which does creates like sort of a natural language interface for analytics and SQL databases. So it's a way for you to not have to ask an engineer, for example, if you want to learn something about your own database that you have at your company. So it's almost like a bot-like interface, chatbot-like interface. Another one called Hugging Face, which is an AI BFF. So it's a little bit like Xiao Ice, which is really popular in China. It's sort of like a virtual friend that people can chat with. And it's actually kind of under the radar right now, but the numbers are indicating that it's starting to really pick up with the teens that use it. They're super engaged and talk to it kind of all day long. And not all day, but like they talk to it regularly, and they kind of treat it like almost like a diary or journaling.
Like the movie She, is that?
It's not. It's a little bit like that, but it's not. I mean, it's not meant to. This stuff is not quite there where you're gonna feel like it's you're going to be tricked, but it's more like a kind of someone you can have a conversation with and you can trust it because it's private. It's a friend, but it's not ever going to betray you. That's why I say it's a little bit like a diary or a journal where you can sort of interact with it and share selfies with it, and it'll ask you questions about your day and how things are going. The engagement numbers on that have been awesome. For like our last one, Vision Camp, we had a company called Stream that is doing phenomenally well coming out of it, and they are using augmented reality to enhance phone calls, like video calls with home service professionals. So if you can imagine when you have a problem with your dishwasher, instead of having to send somebody out, they can actually do this kind of augmented reality call with you where they can walk you through the process of kind of diagnosing the problem and kind of in space kind of drop like arrows and pointers and stuff like that, and also use computer vision to analyze the model and extract data and try to help the home service professional save you the hassle of like paying somebody to come out and give you an estimate, frankly.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What does this selection process look like? What are the characteristics that you look for in the most interesting startups?
Yeah, so it is pre-seed, so we look for things that are pretty early, but we do expect companies to have a product. We don't take anything that's sort of just an idea. And what we look for is it obviously has to be on thesis for the category that we're focused on, but we also want to have teams that we think we can really help. So we're very product focused as investors, so we love to dig in on the product and help them think through product design, think through user experience, think through customer or user acquisition, think through some of those problems. If they're more enterprise focused, we might help them with business development or thinking about their go-to-market strategy. So we want to have like a lot of clarity around, can this get to that next stage through this program? Can we help them either move the product forward or move the business forward? And so we want founders who have a real clear vision around what they want to do, but have also demonstrated with their ability to execute or build with the products that they have coming into the program.
Because not all startups can be a part of your camps, what advice do you have for startups that can't get into your camp, but that might help them?
Yeah, and to be clear, most of our investing is outside of these programs. So, this is sort of a fraction of what we do through the camp. So we do, for companies that are further along or not on a specific theme that we're doing a program, like still love to talk and take a look if it makes sense. We are, I think for us, what we're really excited about is people that are looking at these sort of new categories and figuring out what it means to build natively for them. What does it mean to create something that is that you couldn't do before? We always say that we're looking for surprising new consumer behaviors. So is there something that you're figuring out that people are able to do with voice that nobody else has figured out yet, or that people haven't done before? And that's the kind of things that like really gets us excited.
Well, that explains why you're listed as one of the men to watch, especially in augmented reality and the future of tech. Peter Rojas, partner at Betaworks Ventures, thank you so much for joining me. If somebody wants to connect with you, maybe they want to find out more about your programs or your camps, how can they do that?
So the easiest way is you can find me on my website, roj.as.
All right. And if you guys want to find more of my interviews, you can do that right here on ZDNet or Tech Republic, or maybe go to my website. It's tonyahall.net. I've got links to all my social sites. Thanks for watching.